We'll see what it was like when you get pinned in, see how survivable it is. Yeah, just block and then just knock the guy over, basically. You got stamina recovery to deal with that. And it's mainly built for killing large enemies, so... should be pretty good. Should be very survivable. Not many builds can just survive getting swarmed like that. I want to try and get some blocks in here, just test it a bit, but we'll see. Can I block this? I think I can. Yeah, I can. But it just staggers me. Did not do a lot of damage, did he? Bit of a shame I couldn't get him a bit quicker there, but see how tanky it is there. So he's with no echoes as well. It's looking pretty tanky. Right, that's where it could be an issue. Yeah, blocked it well there. It's just the stagger. Ooh, that was an interesting move. I'm gonna test it. Locked. Locked. Pretty good. If you want to ignore the mechanics, just play this. Kind of. I'm pushing my luck a bit. Oh, that was a bit more. That a bit more this time. Don't know why. Don't call for. gonna do it again. Right, the plague is not going away, which is really annoying. So just bear that in mind. I'm not full focus as well. Why am I not full focus? Oh, because I used the high. Ooh, nice, well played. Did not expect that move. Could be good there. Just wait for this. I was not full focus there for a lot of that. I didn't realise as soon as I used that apple pie, but I mean I played that pretty average really. Look how easy it was. That's first go on the Echo Knight with no runes, and I was just messing about a bit. So if you're used to slower builds, you'll do that way easier than what I just did it. Very, very strong. Bring a bit of food with you just as an insurance policy and you'll be good basically. The first thing I would say with this is don't block plague attacks, like try not to. So when he does his ranged plague attacks, Echo Knight, just try and dodge him. You don't want that plague to build up because it just for some reason stays like, it decays like this quick. I don't know why, and I feel like it needs to be looked at. It decays way too slowly. Once you get plagued, it's not going away, I don't think. Now you could wait it out and just keep dodging and hiding, but I think it needs to be like going down like this quick. Really, like it's maybe a bit slower, maybe like that or something, but right now it just feels really punishing on melee builds in particular. So I hope they look at that. That's one tip I realised with the Echo Knight. Also, don't do what I just did where I used an apple pie and boosted my focus to 250. So I actually had I wasn't running the full focus gem for a lot of that fight, so that's why I was taking more damage. I still did it though. But when you full focus, this is going to be basically unkillable if you play it properly. So obviously I'll do a plan at the bottom, but I'll talk through why I've done the certain stats here. So I've done damage to large enemies because it's a boss killer. This really adds, you're going to eventually kill them no matter what, right? You're going to be unkillable, really good lifesteal. Look at the gameplay. I mean, I'm kind of chilling. I'll use the bash if I get surrounded a bit, just to bash them all over, and then just they all line up and this hits multiple enemies. So it's perfect with the charged attacks, right? So we want these charged attacks to hit really hard on large enemies. So we've got large enemy boost, charged attack boost here, got a couple in charged attack, which is really, really good. So when you add those two together with the block boost here, so if I block something, then do a charged attack, I'm getting the damage to large enemy boost, I'm getting the charged attack boost as well. And that all affects the lifesteal from the plague. So it's got a plague spear with the lifesteal in here. So that's why I'm getting so much lifesteal with that high damage on the initial charge hit. The more damage you do, the more lifesteal you get. So obviously with all those boosts adding up, if I also get hit without blocking, I get another boost there. So that's where your damage comes from really. Crit chance I got pretty good here. 2 7s, 1 10, and then yeah, that's about it really. So my crit chance isn't crazy high. I got 20% burst in the weapon. So about 7 there, so 27. That says 13 there, so 40%. Let's say just under 50. So just under 60% probably on the crit chance, which is pretty good with 150% damage. But what we're going for here is 3 armor pen just to make sure we get decent damage going, and then yeah, 3 crit chance. But the chest is very different to what most people will be doing. I'm running the full stamina resistance here because I think it's very, very strong. Is it better than the durability in the chest of durable? Probably not. Because obviously you have to be full stamina here. But I wanted to test this because I think this might be something else the devs might want to look at, right? So this is very, very good. Now, you know, a couple of people when I was building it were like, oh, how's that going to work? How are you going to keep full stamina? Well, if you watch me against the Echo Knight, you're not going to be sat doing this like against multiple enemies. Yes, that won't work really. This isn't going to do anything against multiple enemies. But when you're in a 1 versus 1 against the boss, it will work. So you watch when I fight the boss. Look how many times I'm getting to full stamina. Do a couple of hits, I block, wait, back to full. Really quick. Why is that? I've got the durable stuff here on recovery. Now you could put another durable in if you wanted to and drop the 5% plague damage, but I wanted a bit of extra damage. So the idea really against the boss is kind of just block, charge, block, full charge, block, wait for full charge. Just keep trading with him. Look at the initial start on that fight there when I had full focus. As soon as I go to 250 focus, obviously I didn't realise it during the fight, but kind of ignore that bit. But it still does it easily, even with that. I just had to use a bit of food, and I was kind of wondering why. But that was why. obviously with the full focus setup, you need to be full focus. So that's why I've got focus cost and everything. Doesn't mean anything. I don't use focus, right? So I hope that explains a bit. Obviously we've got the plague damage in those two, just to boost it a bit. So 15% boosted by 30%. So we're getting like over 20% there. So a nice boost there as well. So when you have the like 22% boost in plague, 30% charge there, 22% extra damage after block, it all starts adding up. And then the damage to large enemies with the 40% boost, I'm getting a 50% boost there. So that's where all this damage is coming from for the for this. Even though it's a tank build, and I'm missing out on a lot of stats here, it still works really well. So obviously the max health is really good, I think, as well. So 2 utility stats here, and then you've got the armor pen, which is very, very important to get 3 on every build, I think. I think it's a minimum for every build armor pen. You get 3. And here I've got 38%, boosted by 30%. So, you know, we're getting over 50%, right? Which is should be enough, I think. Should be enough, really, for this kind of build. But yeah, that kind of explains the gear, I think. I don't think I've missed anything. The rest of it, you know, if people nowadays have good enough knowledge to figure the rest out. I think with the shield, you know, you got the poise boost here of 9, but you get 20 poise when blocking. You'll get 10 if you boost this fully. So that's 30 poise. And at the bottom right, it's 32 poise. So I get 62 poise when I'm like this. That's why I'm just tanking everything. Just sat there with full stamina. And when you block it, I've got 72% physical resist now, but when I'm blocking it, it'll probably go quite a lot higher. Because I get 800 armor. It's almost doubling my armor. So there is diminishing returns, but I can't actually see what the armor is. But there is a big difference when I'm blocking and damage resist. So I get the 14% here, and then the armor on top as well. And the poise. So that's why I've gone for the Great Shield, for just a massive reduction. And you are basically going to be unkillable. Now one thing you could do is go more into health. You look at the stats here. 450 health, very good, with the bed buff. I've got a lot in damage, haven't I? But you're probably thinking, hang on, why have you not got anything in stamina? All you got to think about is we want to be full stamina. So we want to be full stamina for this. And this is really efficient. You only do a charged attack to do your damage, which is 14 cost. And you can't really spam it. You can just wait a bit. Block, and you're back to full again. Just wait half a second, you're back to full. There is no point speccing into stamina at all. So if you can get to 60 stamina regen in 1 second, you'll go from 0 to full in 1 second pretty much. Really, really good to know. That's how that utilises the stamina there. I have said that I think damage resist based on durability needs nerfing. That's just my opinion. I think it's way too strong. The reason for that is it starts at 5%, but if you get 2 exalts it goes to 10. You can get to 300 durability. With a gem boost in there, you're getting towards like, you know, 40, what would that be? 48% just off that. You can get higher, 48% resist. It's still too high in my opinion. But there is diminishing returns now, which is fair enough, but I just think it's too easy to get really high armor. But I don't know if this is broken or not. I don't know, but it's there to be looked at, I think. That's kind of why I put it together with this. I saw this start and I thought, don't really see anybody using this, I wonder why. And let me tell you, with this setup, it works very, very well. So definitely recommend it. Very different way of doing it, rather than just doing the durability resist stuff. But yeah, you could drop a bit in damage here. I think you could drop like 2 points in each of these, put more into health, get to like 500, 550 health, because that'll give you a nice little buffer, but it's just harder to fill the health up then, isn't it? So I don't really know if it's needed. But yeah, I think this was a pretty good amount of stats, really. Now I've gone full plate with mesh gloves. I mean, you could do plate gloves as well, but I only had mesh gloves for this, really. But that's because I want the poise, right? 15 poise there, 6 there, 9, 2. So I'm getting 32 poise of all this, which is very, very good base. So even if I'm just doing a charged attack, I've got 32 poise. I can just basically charge through attacks when fighting ads. That's why I have that, really. Then obviously if the boss trade blows, you should really barely take any damage, and you should out-heal him. You can see on the initial start of the second phase as well, it still works pretty well. The first phase, breeze. You're just going to out-trade him easily. I was taking hits, tanking them, just trading hits. And that's why I think this needs looking at, possibly. The fact I can self-sustain that without blocking or playing the mechanics, going to be a problem, isn't it, I think. But I think this works really well against the Echo Knight, but other bosses it struggles a bit more, actually. I think this is really good against the Echo Knight, but some of the bosses in Pestilence I think are actually a bit more difficult sometimes. Maybe not now with the full setup, but I did struggle against the guy that spins around. Usually he's really easy, but the guy with the massive AoE club in his hand, Paddle, yeah, he's a bit awkward to fight sometimes because of the range he has, some of the moves, but every other boss, it's been a breeze. I think that kind of explains it really. I mean, like I said, you got the spear for the damage here, crit chance. So stamina cost after fatality is pretty good against fighting multiple enemies because it just reduces the cost even more. Yeah, after a charged attack, that's a fatality. So, that's with the gem in, 50% reduced cost pretty much. Then I get 20% here, so 70% reduced cost when I kill something. That means that this is costing me barely anything to attack with. So when I'm fighting multiple enemies, I'm pretty much going to be full stamina even if I do spam it quite a bit, so very handy to know. And then the speed ring helps the movement. Having the 2 rings for movement is very good. It's not too bad with the movement here. If I take these off, you'll notice a massive difference, so I would recommend these 2 for sure. Possibly change this ring if you want. I don't know what else you could really put in. I think this is the best one personally, but yeah, that kind of sums it up really. I really like these 2 here. The health boost is really, really good because it lets you boost into damage a lot more. Okay? That's how I get over to 450 health, right? But then still have 70 points in damage on a tank build. We're talking really, really good numbers now. So, yeah, stagger damage. I don't like doing stagger builds. But one stat you could get is stagger resistance. That's the only weakness with this build to look out for. Because Plague has extra stagger build-up, you do need to consider the stagger bar. So the white bar that comes up along the side of this, there's a white bar that comes up here. You need to watch out for that one because when you're getting hit by Plague damage, that can build up a lot. So just bear that in mind. And if you do get a lot of stagger, just drop back. You've got the move speed to kite, and this dash attack, by the way, is really good as well to get away or enter into fights. So to get the lifesteal, I go in, do that to plague them, charge attack, and it should be enough to kill something and drop out. Smaller adds are actually kind of more difficult because you don't have the extra damage, but I think this is the way to do it. Make it really good against bosses, right? Yes, adds are a bit slower to kill sometimes, but you are not going to die to adds with this. You're just not going to die. So don't worry about them. It's the big enemies. Also, shoulder barge. Utilize it when you can. It's really good. I like to block in, get surrounded, then just shoulder barge. Like, just take people out like that. It's a good way of doing it. So, like, I'm pinned in the corner sometimes like this. I'm kind of pinned in. When they all surround me, if I do that, it knocks everything over. Really good. So, yeah, I don't utilize any of the stuff like execute enemies. Why don't I do that? Well, when you're executing enemies, when you've got that on, you can't run charged attack damage. That's why. And for this build, charged attack damage is better because this is by far the best move to do. As I explained, very efficient on stamina, really good range, and really good damage on hits. So this gives me more lifesteal through a fight against a boss. That's why I'm running. It's 30% more lifesteal, basically, is what it is. That's what this is. You don't get that with the. You won't get that benefit with anything else in that slot. I think this is a no-brainer here, personally. But feel free to try whatever you want, But this turned out really good. If you want to play a tanky build, that's really safe. I think this would be really annoying in PvP as well because this locks on. 1 versus 1, your character will spin around here. You can't move it around here, but whoever you're fighting, it will lock on. And they're going to have a tough time trying to take you down. And you can just do that and just do 1000 damage. Yeah, they're going to have a tough time. So it could be good in PvP, I think. A few tweaks. The other thing I would say is there is potential to put the glass cannon ring here. And you would go to about 50% on the resist. But as soon as you block, you'll go back to max again. That's a potential option. But bear in mind there's a bit of time for blocking. So a bit riskier, but you could try that if you want a bit more damage. Personally, run it like this. You're unkillable. Pretty unmovable, really, especially if you're blocking. And the best thing is, while you're blocking, you don't have to let go of block. You can go instantly into a charge, so there's no wait time there. So I'm holding the block down constantly here while doing this. So that's a really good feature for this. That makes it play really smooth. But yeah, if you want to play something really tanky, really chilled, really good damage, sustain, bit slower on the speed, you know, in terms of clearing stuff, but you're gonna just play like a tank, just strolling through the battlefield, taking stuff out with a breeze, then you'll like this one a lot.